Hey, what's going on, guys? Coromon is releasing both on Nintendo Switch and Steam at the end of this month, and as a lot of you guys probably already know, I'm pretty excited to say the least. That said, what better way to start out the hype season than to cover all of the Coromon starters and their subsequent evolutions? Now, those who've been following my channel for a while might remember a Coromon starter evolution video that I uploaded back in 2020. Damn, I didn't realize it's been that long. But anyways, I uploaded that video, and within it, we broke down the starter evolution similarly. However, since then, there has been some major changes to the water line with regards to how many traits they get, and even one of the evolutions is just completely different, which we'll talk about today. Other than that, we will be going over each of the starters, their in-game lore, their stats, traits, move pools, and of course, their evolutions. The video will be very much in the same vein as the previously mentioned video, but with more relevant information and updated all around. So if you're a Coromon fan and are hyped for its launch, definitely subscribe to the channel because we're going to be going really hard with these guides, breakdowns, news updates, speculation videos, and more. We also cover other monster taming games, of course. So yeah, with all that, sit back, relax, and let's dive right in. Quickly, as an important note, Coromon lines all share the same traits and move pools, unlike Pokemon where both would change based on whether or not they evolve. Stats typically just keep the same sort of spread and increase, so we'll be going over each of these once per line to avoid redundancy. First up, we have the Ice type starter, and yes, Coromon has a triangle of ice, water, and fire. Check out my type guide for more information on that. We have Cub Zero, a Coromon that covers itself in a thick layer of snow to stay warm in the winter, kind of like a portable igloo for its body. This line has two potential traits, the first being Sharp Claws, which prevents attack loss, and the second being Clumsy Power, which increases its attack power but reduces its accuracy. In terms of its move pool, Cub Zero and its line actually get some pretty interesting skills. You have your typical ice attacks to go alongside with its typing. However, it also gets access to a move called Static that makes it so anybody who makes contact with Cub Zero for the next 5 turns will be inflicted with a shock status, which is kind of like Coromon's equivalent to paralysis. It also gets a water type move in the form of Splash, which unlike its Pokemon counterpart is quite useful. Basically what Splash does is it does damage equal to your level. However, it then gets worked into the damage formula, essentially doing even more damage if it's super effective. This means that Cub Zero and its line actually have a legitimate answer to fire types that would otherwise check or counter it directly. At level 16, it's going to evolve into Aurora, a Coromon that maintains a state of semi-hibernation. This cools their body and enables them to live in warmer climates. Since we don't have a final evolution stat spread just yet, we'll be looking at the middle stage stats to get an idea of what to expect. The Cub Zero line is noted at the beginning of the game to be more of a balanced starter overall, and this can be seen here with it having a pretty even spread across the board. It does have higher attack than special attack, but based on the differences between the stats and whatever moveset gets implemented upon full launch, I could definitely see this thing being a tanky mixed attacker. Finally, it's going to evolve into Borealis, whom has the following database entry. The body of Borealis is covered with tough ice which never seems to melt. This ice protects its body like armor. As stated previously, all movesets and traits are identical to its pre-evolution. Next, we got the Fire starter line, starting with Taruga, the Fire Shell Coromon. Its database entry reads, Taruga had to adapt by growing stronger jaws since their head grew too big to fit its shell. This Coromon has two potential traits, being Vegetarian, which gives the Coromon a 20% boost to its HP when consuming fruits, and Thick Skin, which prevents critical hits. Its move pool mostly consists of fire-type attacks, with one of the notable exceptions being the Sand-type attack, Boulder Barrage. Sand is a Coromon equivalent to Earth or Rock, and since Taruga's line is based around magma, this makes perfect sense. It evolves at level 18 into Embavel. Now, Embavel, who looks dope mind you, is described as having a shell comprised of volcanic rock. It utilizes this as camouflage. Here you can see its stat spread, which surprisingly favors speed and special attack. I guess it's a very fast turtle. It'll eventually evolve into Volcadon, whom is described as follows. Volcadon often gets so hot-headed they heat up the surrounding area to high temperatures. This one used to be my favorite of the three. I still think he looks dope, but you'll see in a sec why that favorite has changed. Lastly, we have the Water-type starter line, which begins with Nibelgaar, the Shark Coromon. Nibelgaars all have these rings that they hold with them from the time they're born until the time they die. No nibelgaar is ever seen without one, or so the database says. This Coromon line now has 2 potential traits. If you watch the original starter evolution video, it used to have 3. Now it has fully rested, which reduces incoming damage when at full HP, and super sensory, which raises its best stat when one of its stats are lower. Taking a look at its move pool, you'll notice its base move Chomp is a foul type move, which are very effective against other water types, giving it an immediate answer to those. It also gets access to a similar move to agility from Pokemon in the form of Streamline, and it's got some physical water moves to boot. Do remember that these are all demo movesets prior to launch. There will be more moves added because prior to full launch, the level cap's only level 25. At level 17, it'll evolve into Sheartooth. Sheartooth are described as follows. Known as the pirates of the seas, Sheartooth's sharp teeth can easily tear through its prey. Pretty epic entry and name, not gonna lie. Its stats favor defense and special defense with a mixed attacking potential. I think the bulkier stat spread is also reminiscent of what its evolution used to look like as opposed to what it looks like now. More on that in a sec. When it does evolve, it'll become Megalobite, this huge jacked shark whom just looks amazing. Now, looking at this, you might assume, oh, it's got to be a heavy hitter. Look at those biceps. But do remember that its design was changed from this, which definitely looks like it would play more of a Snorlax role. The reason the design was changed was due to community feedback, so you know we got good devs if they're listening to what the community says. And there you have it, guys. Those were the 3 starter Coromon and all of their evolutions explained in a clear and concise manner. Now, if you were watching this as someone who has never heard of Coromon before, or if this is your first sort of deep dive into it, I'll leave a few videos linked in the description that I think are very relevant. You may have noticed that, for example, the Coromon's colors had changed during their explanations. We had the standard, the potent, and the perfect forms being showcased. You can check out this video for more information on that, because trust me when I say, if you are someone who doesn't really like IVs too much and loves shiny hunting, you're really gonna love this. But yeah, like I said at the beginning of the video, definitely subscribe for more Coromon and monster taming content. I upload videos every single day. You can check out my Twitter and my Discord, as well as my Patreon, all links below. Special thanks to my patrons, especially Jim Hamilton, Steel Case, and Dark Persona. And with that, we'll see you guys next time. Peace.